Beavemanites and docutrons, assemble!
Okay, so back in the day, I was way above the wave, man. I traded in the girls for the video games. I played so much Super Smash Bros. Other kids called me names. They called me Mike.
No shit, there I was, Beavemanites and docutrons, here in Renegade Beaver Studios, and I welcome you to this fine podcast that is Beaveman in the Dock. And of course, I am the Beaveman, and with me today is the beautiful Swan. Say hello, Swan.
I'm not going to say
Don't
hello,
do it.
Swan, because I say that every time.
And also with me
I'm just going to
is-
say hi to Paper Doc, who's also here.
Yes,
Hi, Paper Doc.
Yes, the genius that is Paper Doc is here on Beaveman in the Dock in Renegade Beaver Studios with the Beaveman. Say hi, Beaveman. You don't introduce me, Paper Doc. That's my thing. Maybe it's time to shake things up a little bit. What do you think?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
How about you shake it up a little bit?
No. That's disturbing. Even Paper Doc is disturbing.
Yeah, Paper Doc is a little bit disturbing. We're just going to have you sit down for now, Doc, but feel free to go ahead and chime in anytime you want to. I don't like to just jump into a topic, per se. Was thinking about stuff, about how things are just super complicated now. Do you remember when, that was a flashback, do you remember when we had flip phones?
Yes.
Do you think that was better then than it is now?
To a degree, yeah, because you didn't have all the drama that came along with social media and the phone in general. Like when your phone can do GPS and knows where you are at all the time and asks you what you like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it uses that artificial intelligence to tell you where you are. You know, if you look up something on the internet, but then it pops up also on Facebook, that's a little bit odd.
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
If I'm looking at Pumas on Puma.com, and then all of a sudden there's an advertisement for Puma on my Facebook, that's a little bit odd.
Yeah, I agree.
What was your favorite phone?
I just did it. I had a Nextel flip phone. I don't even know what it was. It was just a flip phone with the little like
Had the push to talk?
walkie-talkie on the side.
Yeah, that was my favorite one. That was my favorite phone. I wish we never would have got rid of those.
No, they're kind of functional because you can like pretend like you don't hear it. They don't know it. It's great.
Yeah, I could actually, that wasn't too bad because my dad had one too, so I could have very brief conversations with him. That was also the reason why I wanted my mom to get a smartphone. She didn't understand why I wanted her to get a smartphone. I kept telling her, I'm like, I can text you and you can text me, and we don't have to have like full out conversations, but we can hold a conversation for several days, weeks. It's just a running conversation.
Right. But two things about about the push button bothered me. One, people didn't let go of the button on their end. So that was just constantly air and you're waiting for your turn and they never let go of the button. So you never got your turn. Or like your father who treated it like a walkie-talkie and said like over and out or whatever he says at the end. Call me back on it. Call me back on it. Like,
well, yeah, but he does that
like,
now.
Yeah, he does that still. But yeah, he used to repeat it like 10 times. Like we couldn't hear him the first time.
Well, you know why though? Why he does that?
Why?
So years ago, many, many years ago, when I was a kid, so this would have been the 80s. I was a kid in the 70s, but in the 80s, my dad had a pager.
Oh.
And in the pager, you talked into it, and then it would say what you talked. So when you sent somebody a page, he would be like, "Hey, this is Jim. Give me a call back. Give me a call back. This is Jim. Whatever. And here's your number."
Okay. Yeah. So he continuously still does that,
So
even
he
on a
does that
voicemail
brief- yeah.
message.
So he does that brief message. He does the same one over and over again, and that's why he does it.
Okay. It makes sense, but it still drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's silly. Yeah, it's silly. But yeah, I had a pager a long time ago. Also, I started off obviously with a pager because it was too expensive to have a cell phone a billion years ago.
Yeah, I had a pager too from an ex-boyfriend who just used it to control me. That was great. Like if I didn't answer back, it was like, I'm driving. You can't really call back on a pager.
Pager was like a major industry too. Remember all the pager shops there were? There were more pager shops than there are cell phone shops now, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I remember I was super excited to have a pager because when I was in the Army, when I was in the 82nd Airborne Division, for those of you listeners who are in the 82nd Airborne Division, yes, I was in the 82nd. Anyway, it was nice to have that because if you were on 2-hour recall, in other words, you had to be back in to the base within 2 hours. If you had a pager, that was listed on the call sheet and they could send out a page to everybody. But if you didn't have a pager, every 2 hours or within like an hour, every hour, if you were gone away from the base, you'd be calling in to make sure that you hadn't got called up yet. Yeah. If you were at home, they had your home phone number. You didn't have to worry about it. But if you were far away, then you're screwed.
Yeah, especially if you're like 2 hours away.
Right. Well, and you tried to be, I mean, actually, you didn't try to be 2 hours away, but the farthest I would go when we were on 2-hour recall was like an hour away. But I'd still have to keep calling in, which was obnoxious. And it was even more obnoxious on the other end because when you sat at the telephones, because we had 24-hour coverage of the telephones, if it was your shift to be on, you'd answer the phone and you'd say, the first thing you would say was all clear. And then all you would hear on the other end was people hanging up. So all day long, you're just answering the phone and you're like, all clear, all clear, all clear, all clear. And then you would say, this is first the 505, blah, 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 blah. So it was really obnoxious because you just got to hang up calls constantly. You just answer silly like a.
And you had to call every number separately.
If you would have got called up, you would have had to gone through the call list to call everybody in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But usually, if we weren't going to war, you didn't get called up. But they did have drills. But everybody knew ahead of time that they told us, so like, hey, we're gonna have a drill that's gonna initiate the call roster, and the person who was working the phones necessarily wasn't the one doing all the calls. They split it up too. So I wasn't calling every single person in the company if it had to be called.
Right. So that's a perk about mass text or mass voicemails now.
Yeah, exactly. And now, of course, you don't have to worry about that because you have a cell phone. So, and of course, I guess even now, probably people know that they're going to get called up before that anyway if they turn on the television. It's like, oh, this unit's getting called up because there's no such thing as privacy anymore. So, yes.
Could be a bad thing.
Yeah, that is a bad thing.
That's a bad thing.
If the enemy knows that you're going to invade in like 6 hours, yeah, that's probably a bad thing. So I would like to go back to some simplicity. I think it was better not having this. I kind of think it was better.
I do too. It's better for bullying, definitely.
Yeah, it's you
as the bully or the bullied, as the bully or the bullied.
For all you bullies out there, it's better for you to have a cell phone that you can bully people with.
No, but then there's evidence.
Beaveman in the dock, advocates for bullies. I'd like to say something here. I am not an advocate for bullies, just so you know, Swan. And I'm insulted that you said that in the first place.
I don't give two shits, Doc.
Wow. Harsh. A harsh statement from the Swan. No, but the other thing is, too, is that the smartphone is not a phone. Now it's just a device. So using it as a phone is secondary. How often do you use yours as a phone?
Not very often. Probably like less than 2 hours a month.
Yeah, I don't even like to use mine as a phone. It always feels hot on my ear. It's like this big flat glass pane. Just, I don't like it.
And then you butt dial people.
Yeah, I don't do that because my phone locks. If you lock your phone, it's not going to do that. But I do get butt dial calls all the time.
I do too. My first letter is A. So therefore, I get butt dialed on a lot of people's phones.
Speaking of the letter A, I forgot to mention that today's episode is brought to you by the letter L. For example, if you're sick of somebody and you want them to go away, you could say, "Hey man, get the L out of here," or "Shut the L up."
I don't know what the L stands for. Is that bad?
I'm just telling you, shut the L up.
Like L?
Yeah, like L. Shut the L up.
Okay, gotcha.
Get the L out.
Okay, gotcha.
Wow. Okay.
I got it. I was a little slow on that.
A little slow. Wow, that was pretty pathetic on your end, Swan. I guess you're just a pretty face, huh?
Pretty much.
Pretty face, nice rack, nice hiney. Doc. Yep. Jeez. Inappropriate, paper doc. Please sit down. But I think, do you remember the time before the internet then, obviously?
Yes.
When do you think when do you remember it first getting into full swing for you when you had to actually use it, deal with it?
Like probably my freshman year of high school. Like we barely had it in middle school, not much at all. I don't think we used it in middle school, but in high school, freshman or sophomore year probably. And it was funny because it was when it was dial up. Remember that? Terrible.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, waiting.
Forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can hear that soundbite now, but there's people that don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all children do not know what it is now and how awful it was. You had to wait. Or and if someone picked up the phone, it was terrible because you had to log back in completely from the beginning.
Or you'd have to have 2 phone lines.
Well, we didn't
which
have
was
2
ridiculous
phone lines.
to
We
have
only
2
had
phone
one.
lines.
Yeah, we only had one. And as soon as someone picked it up, it messed up your whole entire login and you had to redo it. But yeah, that was probably, maybe it was even my like sophomore or junior year of high school.
Well, let's see. We had a computer when I was in, let's see. We had a computer, but I didn't have the internet until I would say, I didn't have the internet until I got out of the Army. So I didn't even have the internet until like 98.
I didn't have the internet. I had to go to my friend's house who had the internet because my parents didn't have the internet. So we had to share her internet.
Well, I can remember as being as funny as when I was in one unit that a couple of the guys in my squad, they had the internet and they would play like this game, like a fantasy game like Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
And that was when you got charged based on usage. Ooh. And they were getting like $300 a month bills.
Wow.
For the internet.
Oh, because it charged you per hours.
Yeah, remember it didn't used to be, it wasn't unlimited. It didn't used to be unlimited. So they're getting these giant bills like $300, $500 for spending time playing. And people in the Army don't make money. They don't make a lot of money. They're basically living above the poverty level. And that would be pretty shocking to have to pay that sort of bill. And can you imagine trying to explain that to your wife in the first place? Yeah, honey, here's a $300 or $500 bill from me playing, pretending to be an orc or what would you call that, Doc? Well, let's see here. There's orcs. There's paladins. I could go on and on about all the different great roles that people have and done. Okay, well.
And then their wives were like, dude, just go to the strip club. It's cheaper.
It would be cheaper to get like several lap dances instead, but they weren't doing that, which clearly was a problem. That's what I was doing. That's what I would have been doing or did do, but. Yeah, so I don't, and the other thing that was annoying about the initial years of the internet was there wasn't free internet porn. So that was horrible. So every once in a while you might catch this little brief clip somewhere or you'd get some, it was kind of like the early days where your friend might have had cable TV and if you were kind of in between channels, you might get to see that grayed out, that blacked out vision of a boob once in a while.
Yeah, before it flipped off and you do not have this channel,
right?
Mark.
And then you have to keep flipping back and forth to maybe see something like that. Whereas now you can have it's everywhere. You can have as much as you like.
Yeah, my mom let my uncle's ex-girlfriend move into our house when I was in high school, probably my senior year.
Your mom let your
uncle's ex-girlfriend, yes, move in with us because she had no place to go. So yeah, exactly. I don't know why she, whatever. Trying to be a nice person? I don't know. But anyway, so lady got the internet at our house using our phone line, but had the internet in her account, but was using our phone line. Racked up a $300 and something bill to some guy that she was talking to in the military who was overseas somewhere in a month.
Well, Crazy. Of course. Moron.
Yeah.
And who ended up paying that bill?
Not her.
Nobody. It's still not paid.
Probably not.
All right. Well, it's still probably not paid. Which brings us to today's topic of things that annoy me. Not so much things that annoy me, but I think it's things that annoy me. This is not the episode on lying. I'm going to do an episode on why we lie with the daughter because she's a self-professed excellent liar.
I don't even think it comes naturally to her.
Yeah, she lies a lot. She admits that she lies every day. I don't know
at
what
least
the percentage.
50%.
Yeah, she has something like that.
50%
of that. So much so that she thinks that she's going to be a lawyer. I don't know what that says about her perception of the legal system, but hey, whatever. No, this is more like along the lines of things that annoy me with social media. Just off the top of your head, is there anything in particular? And let me say this. I do not post on social media very much. It's just little snippets here and there. I might comment on stuff. I don't use it nearly as much as most people do. I do look at it pretty often just to see stuff, but there's never really anything that's super interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, you sent me a link to look at, but I didn't look at it. But just off the top of my head, one thing that annoys me the most is filters like Snapchat or any of those other filters that make you look nothing like you really do. Like, you are a 70-year-old woman and you look like you're 25 with bright pink lipstick on. Really? How natural is that? And your face is so washed out that you don't have a nose anymore.
Yeah, and it's distorted. It's like their heads look so huge. And I've never used one of those filters or anything like that, so I don't even know how to use them. So, I mean, there's got to be like some sort of learning curve just to play with it in the first place.
Not really. They're pretty easy. You line it up with your face and it does it for you. But it does make it look awkward sometimes, definitely.
Yeah, but what is the point of so let's say you use that to attract people.
And then they see you and they're like, dude, you don't look
anything
like
like
that.
that.
I mean, I think it's cute when like they do like bunny ears or, whatever. Sometimes that's kind of cute. But like the ones that people use all the time just to make themselves like that's how they post their pictures. Are you going to look back at that and be like, yeah, I had brown eyes, but in this picture they're blue and my teeth are bright white and they're really not like that and I have no nose. Like,
no nose. I have so distorted my face that this looks absolutely nothing like me.
and then people write, "Oh, you're so beautiful."
Yeah,
really?
that annoys the shit out of me. Like,
It's
why
not
are you
even that you
writing?
look like them.
That's not what you look like. And I've never done that. I don't understand the point of doing that. That's kind of like the whole thing with. I've never thought about dyeing my hair either. Why do I want to look like something that I'm not? I don't understand that.
Well, number one, your hair is black.
Yeah.
So what are you going to dye it to?
I don't know, purple.
It won't even
Blue.
show up.
Well, yeah, don't you have to bleach it out first?
Yes. So, so that's not even going to work for you. But
Well,
anyway.
that's not the point. The point is I've never wanted to do that.
Okay. Well, some people do. I don't know.
Why do you want to change what the percent? Is that what you perceive yourself that you look like?
I mean, I guess you have black hair and you have nice hair, but what if you had the ugly red hair or like gray hair when you were 16? Because people have that. Would you want to look gray haired when you were 16?
I don't know. I'm just saying that it's not coming from a basis of gray hair. I'm just saying that there's all kinds of different hair colors. I've never wanted to have any other one other than the one that I've got.
Well, because you have nice hair color. So I feel like if I had gray hair when I was 16, like my uncle had gray hair when he was 16. And I guess that's maybe okay if you're a guy. But if I had the ugly gray hair, like dirty, washed out, not even like the nice silver gray hair, when I was 16 years old and it made me look like I was 40, I'd probably dye it.
Yeah, but there's people now who are young women who make their hair gray and silver and it looks like shit because they want to look like anime characters or something. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't like that one either.
Like, why do you want to look like you've got an old lady's hair on the top of your head?
Right.
So, I mean, you can't even use the gray and silver hair analogy anymore because there's idiots who do that.
Correct. I don't know. I don't get the whole like rainbow hair either. Like,
I don't understand the point of. I guess I can understand that if it's something that you stand for. Like if okay, we are a canvas. That's why I have tattoos. Okay, and I can understand that. I guess. So I'm just saying that me personally, I've never wanted to change my hair color. I don't have a problem with people doing it. I think it's interesting to see people with like blue hair and purple hair and stuff like that. It's not natural hair colors. That looks cool if that's part of if that's what they want their outward appearance to be. Fine. But I don't understand the point of changing your appearance online artificially if that's not what you look like.
Okay, I see that. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I don't understand the point of that. And I definitely don't understand the point of that being your profile picture. You definitely don't look like that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with people putting their dog as their profile picture. I know that's not them. I know that's your dog. What I have a problem with is you totally altering the way you look, using that as your profile picture. Because to me, you're obviously just doing it for attention in the first place.
Yeah.
And when you post a picture on there, altering your image, and then, like you said, people comment, "Oh, you're so beautiful," all this other stuff. Well, that's not that person. That's not them. And then they don't even acknowledge that, "Oh, well, I fucked with that picture."
Right.
I mean, why don't you say that? Why don't you say, "Oh, well, that's not really me, ding dong. I use this filter and this editing software and stuff. I don't look like that."
Right.
It's just a fake fucking picture.
I guess it goes, everybody wants to look like a Victoria's Secret model or whatever model. Those people don't look like that in real life either.
No, of course not.
They're stretched out and airbrushed. So I guess that's what people think that they should look like too.
Well, the thing is that some people are just, I think that some people just look really good in person, period. And they're always trying to, I don't know why people try to change themselves the way they look. I guess it's Change yourself for yourself, but not for other people. If you're doing it just to have other people tell you how wonderful it is, then that's just a purely selfish, I don't know, it's a stupid need. It's a stupid need that you don't have to fulfill. I don't know, whatever.
That brings me to another one that I wrote down.
Okay, what's another one that you wrote down?
People who post vague, dramatic stuff that just to get a comment. Like, oh, that was so terrible. And then nothing else. Like, oh, what was that? Oh.
God, tell me what's been going on. We haven't caught up in so long.
Yeah.
I hope you're okay.
Yeah, exactly. Those ones. Or like, that's terrible. I can't believe that just happened. Like, okay, so you want people to comment, what happened? Are you okay? Like, dude, if you really need that much self-validation for yourself, maybe get different friends. Because mine know what are going on. And I don't have to talk about it every 5 seconds online.
No, well, but that's the other thing when you talk about friends in the first place. For example, how many friends do you have on your social media?
I don't know, probably 200 maybe.
Okay.
And they're people I really know.
You really know 200 people?
Yes, I don't talk to them all, but probably like of the one, most of them are family or family of your family, and a couple high school people that I still talk to but don't hang out with, but we still talk on there randomly. But maybe 10 that I actually talk to on a regular basis.
Well, I think most of the listener knows that I don't have that many friends, and I do have a few friends on my Facebook. But every so often, and yes, I use Facebook because I'm old. Every so often, I go through and I'll even put on Facebook, well, time for me to purge again, and I'll get rid of people off of my Facebook. Now, I have lots of people on my Facebook that I've never met that are my family in Mexico. Never met them. That's my only link to them is Facebook. And so I see little things and I'll hit the translate button and I'll make little comments to them. They've never met me. I've never met them. And I feel kind of bad if I got rid of them.
Right.
But that really, the majority of the people on my Facebook are my family. And like I said, most of them I never even met.
Yeah.
So I'd feel bad if I purged them off. But then I have the Beaveman and the Doc Facebook, which doesn't have a lot of people. And obviously that one, I would like to have a lot of people on it. Not so that I could read about all their stuff, but just so we could promote the podcast. Same thing with Instagram. But if I didn't have that, I don't know how much I would actually use social media in the first place because it really just kind of annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, a lot of Facebook posts annoy me too. I mean, you hear me bitch about them, like our subdivision posts that we have. A neighborhood subdivision post that everybody posts their dirty laundry on it, stuff they want to sell or get rid of that's just usually mostly garbage, or questions about, is your internet out? Is your power out? Okay, clearly you're posting on Facebook, so you have internet, or you're using your phone. And is it really that big of a deal? Or somebody put dog poop on my lawn. Like,
don't be a dick.
Yeah. I mean, why do we need to hear about that? It's usually just bitching. It's never anything good. But we all read it. But we all read it because we want to know.
But why do you want to read it? So if you'd rather bitch about it, but you're a member of the group.
I don't comment on it, but I just like to bitch about it. I think it's funny to see how petty people are.
But doesn't that make you part of the problem?
Probably.
So when Doc and I did this podcast when I was in Arizona about internet trolls, okay, and internet trolls do stuff for a specific reason, right? So let's say you've posted about, oh God, this is so terrible, whatever, my grandmother died, and an internet troll might go on there and be like, and everybody will be posting how bad they feel and how much, they all liked your grandma and all sorts of stuff. And then an internet troll goes on there and like, she was just a sloppy fat whore.
Yeah, because they just want to see the comments, and then they like people commenting back on them. And those ones piss me off.
Yeah,
like,
that's how they get you.
If you don't want to be on Taylor Swift's whatever Facebook page, then don't like her stuff if you don't want to hear about it. Because people do that all the time. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so why do that? But you're part of the problem. Like you always want to show me these posts about the neighborhood and be like, oh, look at these fucking idiots or whatever. And you go on and on about it. And the boy did it too. And I'm like, why are you guys even on there? And you're like, oh, because we find it funny.
Right, it's entertaining.
But you're part of the problem.
But we don't comment on it. So we just read it in our own. We don't get involved in the drama on the page.
Do you remember the one time? So once upon a time, we got woke up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
We got woke up in the middle of the night from a car alarm going off. And we're like,
That's
okay.
the one time I posted on there. I can probably find it real quick. So
we
you
wake
talk
up-
about it. I'll find it.
We wake up in the middle of the night and the car alarm is going off. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And who knows how long that car alarm had been going off before it woke us up. But the thing is, it continued to go off. And I'm not talking about like 2 minutes. No, I'm talking about over an hour. So it was going off forever. And I became concerned because I'm like, why on earth would a car alarm be going off in a neighborhood? And this is a fairly big subdivision. We've got tons of houses right next to each other. We have a pretty large lot, but we're all basically next to each other. And the car alarm keeps going off. So in my mind, I'm like, if somebody's car alarm is going off at their home, to me, this is a sign that something is wrong. God forbid that somebody's house got broken into and they're dead in the house or they're injured in the house and they need help. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have to call the police and find out what's going on because it's been long enough.
It was at least 15 minutes that we laid there and talked about whether we should go get it.
Well, so then I called the police. So I called the police and I'm like, hey, there's a car alarm going off in our neighborhood. It's been going on for a long time. No idea why nobody's shutting off. I'm concerned. I'm like, what if somebody broke in? What if those people are dead inside that house? And so the cops, which I thought was odd, they're like, hey, we'll send out a car. Do you think you can go find this house and check it out? Which I thought was odd that they would do that in the first place. I'm like, oh, sure. Why can't I? I'm local law enforcement. So I foolishly said, yeah, sure, I will. Okay, so I hop in the car, head towards the sound of the noise, and you weren't with me, right? Were you?
Yes,
no, you
I
were.
was
You
with
were
you.
with me in the car. You were with me in the car. I find where the car alarm is going off. Now, it's not like this house wasn't surrounded. It had a house to its left. It had a house to its right. It had houses across from it, houses behind it. And this car alarm is going off in this person's driveway. And no one in this neighborhood did a goddamn thing. So I go up, knock on the door, hit the doorbell, and somebody actually answers the door, and they had no idea their car alarm was going off, and they shut their car alarm off and gave me a weird look as to why on earth would I bother them about their car alarm. So then I get back in the car, go back home.
It was really foggy that morning. That was, I remember that because they posted on the Facebook post some weird guy and with the description, some well-built 30-ish, was it 30-ish year old man with dark hair came to our driveway, knocked
I believe
on
they
the
made
door.
a statement about my ethnicity, though, also.
Oh, they did. I'm pretty sure. Hispanic or what did they say? I don't remember. Something. Well-built male, tall, well-built, sat in our driveway for at least 10 minutes and was probably scoping out our house. Something like that. I wish I could find it because it was crazy.
It wasn't just that. They said it like I did it.
Right.
Like as if I set off the car alarm to see if anybody would be there so then I could go and rob the house. They sent that post throughout the neighborhood warning everybody that this could happen to them and to be on the lookout. That was what was ridiculous. Yet I'm the one who called the police, and I called the police back after, and I'm sure they still came through the neighborhood if I remember correctly.
I think they did.
But I was concerned about them, and then they negatively post about me in the neighborhood chat or whatever, which, if I remember correctly, what I said was, I'm like, hey, that's cool. They said I was well-built and young.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you did. You ended up posting on the Facebook. By the way, my husband said, thanks for the compliment.
You really made his day. Next time we'll leave you dead in your house. That's what I posted.
Basically that's what happened. So let that be a lesson to all of you. And I guess it doesn't always benefit you to help people out, but do it anyway. Right, Doc? Absolutely. Now, if I may interject, I think that perhaps if I'd have done it, they'd have invited me in and probably made me a cake right then and thanked me profusely. And why do you think that is, Doc? Well, I don't know. Why do you think that is? What do you think? Is it because you're not Hispanic? Well, bingo. Duh. I don't know. Have you looked in the mirror lately? Jeez. Racist much,
Doc's
Doc?
kind of insulting today.
Racist much, Doc? No, I know you're not.
No, just homophobic.
Yes, yeah, he's got other issues. Paper Doc. Put it back in your pants, Paper Doc. Look, my toga's making a tent. Anyway, what else seems to annoy you with the? We're already. I'm sick of. How about people? How about people making their relationships seems so much greater than they are?
Yeah, that's annoying. Like, you hear them bitch about things, but on Facebook they look like the happy, adorable, cute couple, and they post pictures and honey boo boo, oh I love you.
Honey boo boo.
I love you, bunny. Oh, you're so cute. Yeah. Like, ugh, right. Like, people are really like that. Oh, well, some people are, but still that's annoying too.
No,
But yeah,
that is annoying.
People who overshare their relationships on Facebook. Yeah.
But why do they do that? It's all about attention.
Right. They want to seem like the perfect happy couple.
No, I think it would be more realistic if people posted about all the arguments they get into and how shit sucks and how it's kind of lame right now. But instead they want to post all that other stuff and have the perception that everything is great all the time.
I don't know. That in two parts. That does a couple things, actually. When you see those posts and you're actually really friends with those people, or you think you're friends with those people, they call you and they complain about their significant other or spouse or whatever relationship they're in. And they're like, oh, he's such a dick all the time. I can't wait to leave him. And if I only had money, I would leave. Or if we didn't have children together, I would leave. Or if we weren't going on vacation in a week, I would leave. So you post all this stuff, or you say all this stuff to people that you really know, but you post all this happy stuff. Then you look like you're fucking crazy, number one, to everybody. And
right,
number
the people
two,
that actually know you think
right,
you're a fucking nuts.
Right. And number two, when you really do leave and you're posting all this happy shit, all of his friends are like, yeah, she's a freaking bitch. Why did she leave you? If you guys are so happy, clearly she's fucking crazy. And then it just justifies to him that he's an awesome person and you're a dickhead.
I think it would be way more fun if you could... It would be way more fun if you just didn't give a shit and people posted that and you're like, and you could just post, yesterday you called me and you said he was a cocksucking cheater.
Exactly. I mean, I have texts from people with that. Like, I think he's cheating on me, or he didn't come home, but yet the next day you guys are...
His dick smelled funny.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
His dick smelled funny. His fingers didn't smell good either.
That's not what I said.
For some reason, every time he comes home, he only washes his waist. No, that would be great if you could just post that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I love you, baby. And you're like, yesterday you told me that you were pretty sure that guy was putting it to somebody's ass, and then he came home and wanted to kiss you on the mouth.
Right, exactly.
That'd be great. No,
it's even worse if you're friends with both of them, or, talk to both of them. Which one do you want to side with?
I don't know. I guess it depends if you like them both individually, but as a couple, you're like, I could take them or leave them.
Right. I guess. Or which one? Do you get the friend?
Is that how you look at people? That's kind of how I look at people. I don't look at people like they're a couple.
Right. And even if it's like you're friends with the guy first, but then you really like the girl better, when they break up, you keep the girl and ditch the guy. Or do you be friends with both of them?
Well, okay. Well, one, let's remind the listener that I don't have very many friends.
Okay,
the
two friends that you have.
I could count my friends on like one hand.
Are any of them a couple?
No. I
Okay,
don't.
so you don't really have the same problem.
No, I don't. Well, one, I don't. Yeah, I don't have any. I have a lot of acquaintances that I consider friends, but my definition of friend is a little bit different, I guess. Like people that I actually hang out with. Wait a minute.
No, you don't. Yeah.
I don't actually hang out with. I just realized I don't actually hang out with anybody. And I guess I can't really count my son as my friend because he's my son, but even though he's my friend, I guess I can't count him either.
Well, and you can't really disown him either.
And I can't count my daughter either. So, yeah, I guess. Wow, I'm pathetic. If I may... Shut up, Doc.
I'm your friend.
He was going to say you are pathetic. If you would just join me and my comrades on our every other weekend quest, if you will, if you know what I mean, where we use the multi-sided die, then you could have some friends, kick back, drink some Mountain Dew. I'm going to pass.
Hard pass on that one.
Hard pass on that one. I think that it would be really cool. We could do this. We could do our own little fun thing. And just you could let some of your friends in on it, because you have friends, and I could let, I don't know, nobody in on it because I don't have any friends, but we could actually air a fake dirty laundry thing against each other and tell our friends to comment on it.
I think we should not.
In an honest way.
Yeah, I think we should not tell them about it, and we should just do it and see what happens.
I don't think that's fair because if you have a lot of people on your Facebook, it would be better if you had some people who are in on it because not everybody on your Facebook is going to be in on it, but they'll see the posts. That would be way more fun.
Okay.
So if you had like 5 of your friends that you really talk to, like go on there and honestly comment. Like if you said, "Oh, you know what? Beaveman's a dickhead and he did this. Beaveman used my Jeep and he didn't fill it back up and I had to go to work so I ended up having to stop and get gas. What a dickhead." If you said something like that, and then it would be great if your friends went on there and they're like,
"Yeah, he's an asshole.
What a fucking asshole.
You should break up with him."
And then people that are like your friends would be, they don't know about it, would be shocked and they're like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "Oh no, you shouldn't do this or whatever." And then I could even post on there and be like, "Well, fuck you, bitch."
Right.
That sort of thing. I think that would be funny.
Okay, we should do that.
Because that's what we're lacking. Like, if you use social media to be at least a little bit honest, I'm not talking about bullying, but if you could be a little bit honest with yourself instead of making it out to what it's not supposed to be. Now, here's one that I don't like either. If I don't like something, or that I do like something, or let's say my wife has a big ugly nose, for example. Okay, and everybody knows that my wife has a big ugly nose. But I post like memes of women with big ugly noses and talk about how hot they are and say something like, it says, maybe it'll say, "Girls with little noses don't do it better," or something, some shit like that. And I put that on my Facebook for everybody to see. Am I doing it really for myself to say that I love women with big ugly noses? Or am I doing it so that if my wife sees it, she's like, "Oh, he really does love me and my big ugly nose"?
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Okay. All right, I'll just be blunt and say this. When people post memes about how big girls are better lovers and shit like this.
Yeah.
Maybe
some people like that.
It gets a little out of hand when people do it all the time.
Right?
And when they do the same thing, or when they're like, "Oh, big men make better lovers for big women," or blah, blah, blah.
They're cuddly.
Okay, but if let's say then that your spouse decided they weren't going to be big anymore.
And now you don't like big, ugly
men
anymore.
They lost weight and they're not like that anymore. Is it now that you like skinny women?
I don't know, but I feel like some people do break up with their significant others for that. Like,
because they got skinny?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure that has happened. I'm just saying in general, I think it's fake.
I probably agree.
Yes. I agree. I'm cool with you loving that person for who they are, but do you have to profess it all the time?
No.
I don't think it's necessary to profess it all the time because you maybe think that you're doing the right thing and that's okay, but aren't you still calling your significant other fat all the fucking time if you do that?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, if I read that, if I was a big dude, all right, if I gained 100 pounds, all right, let's say I gained 100 pounds. Now I'm 275 pounds, okay? And I'm a big slob and I don't wash underneath my breasts.
That's disgusting.
I don't wash my back fat and that sort of thing. And there's an Oreo cookie wedged in between one of my rolls. Are you going to post all the time about how much you like big men?
No.
And big men make better lovers and all this other stuff?
I don't know. Everybody
because
just likes
if you do that, to me, I'm going to look at it and like, why is she calling me fat all the fucking time? You don't have to profess on social media that your husband's a big fucking fatty.
All right.
Even if you do love me. That's how I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it and go, why is she always calling me fucking fat? I don't understand. How about the people that make their life look like it's better than it is by posting these glamorous shots of the things that they do?
Yeah, those are annoying too.
It's like the herpes commercials.
Yeah,
all those people social media is a herpes commercial.
Pretty much, yeah. Everybody wants to have, like, everybody posts their vacations or their day at the beach and to make it sound all glorified and happy. And they probably got sunburned, couldn't find a parking spot. It was probably terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, look at a trip to Disney, for God's sakes. You stand in line. You want to divorce your husband. You want to beat the crap out of your
we
kids.
just went to Disney. Is that what you're saying happened?
Not this time, but in the past. This time was a very pleasant, quick excursion. It was good, but in the past, you stand in line forever. You get to the end of the line and it's broken. You can't even ride that ride after you stood there for 45 minutes. Your kid is hungry, has to go to the bathroom, doesn't want to ride the ride, is scared of it, argues with you, is exhausted and cranky. You want to beat the shit out of your kid and your husband. You don't want to do it anymore. You got 2 days left.
You got some real hostility.
Well, I'm just saying that happens. But you post all the smiling, happy pictures like you had a great time.
Well, this is along the same lines, and I want to talk more about what you said, but just to interject, if you go on vacation, you should not be posting that you're on vacation.
Right.
And people
Hey,
do that
burglars.
all the time.
I hate that too. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're on vacation. You just told every fucking person
Please
in the
rob
world
my
that
house.
you're not home. Please come rob my house and rape my hamster, is what you just said. I don't understand that. That makes no sense. Every time somebody goes on a trip, hey guys, I'm in the airport. I'm going on a trip to do this. I'm like, hey, dude, probably not a great idea. Maybe post that shit after you're home.
Like,
Here's
had
the
a
post
great
that I do.
time.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
the post that I do. I'm like, had a great time in California. Good to see my family. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
But I'm already back. Yeah, I don't do the vacation while I'm on vacation posts. But like you said, how about the people that go do something once, but now it's all about it on their Facebook and their Instagram.
Yeah, they're
just
rock
one
climbers.
time.
They're professional
All of a
rock
sudden,
climbers.
all of a sudden
and
I'm a rock climber. All of a sudden I'm a skydiver.
yeah.
All these things that they've done one time, but it defines who they are now for a billion posts.
Yeah, that one's annoying too.
I just want some honesty. Post it once and say, hey guys, I did this once. It was really cool. It's not going to be the post on here every single day, and it's not going to be my profile picture from now on. Actually, I think you did that as a profile picture, didn't you?
I did, but I didn't do it as I'm a rock climber. I just like that picture.
No, I mean when you went skydiving.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm skydiving.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like false advertising. People look at that and go, "Oh, look at her. She's a skydiver."
I don't
She
think
does
I
all the
put it
fucking
as my
time."
profile picture, but I did post it that I went. It wasn't my profile picture.
I just want some fucking honesty. If you're gonna post this, post this.
It's just mine said skydiving
I'm
and
not
I didn't
seeing you.
splat. Skydiving and I didn't splat. Like clearly I only did it once.
It's kind of like that picture that we have of me in when we were in Chinatown, where I'm kicking and it looks like Bruce Lee's blocking my kick, the Bruce Lee statue. I even said, I'm like, oh, look how hard it is to kick in jeans and blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't sitting there going, look, I held my leg up here. Like,
I'm professional karate.
yeah, I think that it just drives me crazy.
What about people who post stuff like Facebook Live and they're doing it like while they're there?
Yeah, who gives
like,
a fuck?
Like, dude, your freaking dumb phone is blocking my view of said concert or whatever thing we're doing. And are you really watching it if you're fucking posting on Facebook the whole time?
Right, live
No.
in the moment. And I say that to
And
you all the time.
If you want to go to the fucking concert, go there. You don't need to watch it on somebody else's phone. Who watches that crap?
No, nobody. It's just annoying for everybody else. It's more about why do you want to, and this is the problem. Everybody lives their life through a screen instead of living it like looking around. Even like when you look at how many pictures we've taken of the children or how many pictures you've taken of your family and stuff like that. I used to kick myself and say, I really need to take more pictures of my family and all this other stuff. But the more time I spend taking pictures, the less time I'm actually experiencing it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what's more important. To me, it's more important to actually experience everything. Yeah, I kind of kick myself in the end and I'm like, well, I don't have a picture of that. But then again, was I going to look at the picture if I had a picture in the first place?
Right. And now that we have 7,322 pictures on our phone, when we die, who's going to look at those?
Nobody's going to look at it,
And-
which makes you think, why aren't we printing off pictures and just saving some moments?
Yeah.
To me, that would mean so much more if you went right back and said, you know what? I want to have a photo album. I want to have a photo album to show people stuff or stuff that would be fun for me to see again. And it wasn't that long ago that we did that.
Yeah.
It's only been, if you think about the leaps and bounds in technology since what?
Probably 10 years ago, maybe even.
Yeah, like 2000?
Yeah.
Maybe? I mean, since like 2000, it's gone just crazy.
Yeah.
That's all from that alien torture, though. That's where we get it all. It's from all the alien torture and all the alien technology we get, which we all know that's what AT&T stands for. Alien torture and technology.
Gotcha.
But there are benefits, obviously. It is nice to stay somewhat in touch, but I just think that there's so much phony bullshit out there. Like, you have to take your picture from a certain angle so that people can't see your gut. I don't understand that one. I'm going to take a picture with my hand way up in the air to look down at me. Is that a natural picture? Is that how I always look?
No.
I mean, I point out my right eyelid. I'm like, look how droopy my right eyelid is. It doesn't matter what I do or what picture I take. It looks like it's droopy. So I don't sit there and go, let me tape up my eyelid or let me filter it in some way so that my eyelid doesn't look like it's falling down all the time. Interesting story. It's not a story. But I was going through a lot of my files the other day, and it had my original picture of when I was in basic training that they take from you right away. Mm-hmm. And that eyelid is still droopy in that picture. So it's always been like that. Yeah, it's just worse now.
Clearly it's just because you're getting older and you're like getting, not wrinkly, but where your skin is getting looser, I guess.
I think that the real problem is that, you know how some people can lift their eyebrows?
Right.
And I always did that with my left eyebrow. Well, my left eyebrow is obviously very muscular, and I can lift that one and leave my other one in place, but I can't lift my right one really high and do the opposite. So I think I screwed myself over by it was like doing reps with my left eyebrow when I should have been doing them with both. And so now I have to really work on keeping my eyes open and somehow suppressing my left one a little bit. I'm almost thinking maybe I should get Botox in my left. So at least they would look like, it would have the appearance of them being.
So you'd have two droopy eyes?
So I'd have two droopy eyelids instead of one droopy eyelid. It's either that or get plastic surgery.
On the droopy eyelid?
On the droopy eyelid. And I did talk to an eye doctor about that.
And they said,
He insists that the one that is droopy is the normal one. He's like, no, the other one's open too wide. I'm like, you're a fucking moron. I'm supposed to be squinty-eyed? He's like, well, I mean, I could do the other one if you wanted me to. I'm like, you're a fucking moron. I'll find somebody else. But that's my plan long term, though. I've got to get that thing fixed because it looks like I had a stroke.
I could play on that.
I think that's wrong. That might be wrong. You know what? That's another thing, though. People who, they want you to know that they had to go to the doctor.
Oh, yeah. Those are good. Had to go to the ER, in the ER. But it's another one of those vague ones. Head into the urgent care. Say a prayer for us.
Okay, if it's so bad
that you're posting, it isn't that bad.
It's not bad. If you're posting, it's not bad. Now, if you've been in the hospital for days or whatever, and you're with mom or grandma, and you're legitimately saying, "Hey guys, maybe this is a way for you to reach a lot of people that are on your face that you actually are close to," and you say, "Hey, mom's not doing good. I'm in here with her." But do you have to? I know people that post every so often, like continuously. That, oh, I'm off to the doctor here. I'm off to do this here. And everybody's like, oh my God, what's wrong? If they took the time to post that they had to go here, then it's not so bad. It's even worse if they post pictures of themselves. Because if you have to post a picture about how miserable you are, you're so miserable that you had a picture taken of yourself? There's nothing wrong with you if you had to especially if you're like glamming up the picture a little bit. Clearly, there's nothing wrong with you if you had to do that in the first place.
What about the people that post every single moment of their day? Got up at 6:35, walked the dog, made breakfast for the kids, got them off to school, cleaned the dining room, did some laundry. Like, really, do we need to know your play-by-play of your day every single day?
No, but if they did their play-by-play, let's have a real play-by-play. Let's say, then you're like, 8:10. Sat on toilet. Sat on toilet so long that my legs went numb. Constipated. Barely squeezed out 4 little driblets of poo. Stomach still hurting. Cramping.
Drink some tea.
Those posts I would appreciate because then I'm like, okay, now this is real life. This is somebody who's like sitting on toilet still. Writing this post. Considering looking at porn. Checking the clock to see how much time I have left. Legs still numb. Quickly stood up. Circulation
almost
returning.
fell over.
Circulation returning.
Yeah. What about
Got out of the shower. Couldn't remember which side of the towel I used to wipe my butt. pondered for about a minute, opted to just go for it, did it anyway.
What about the people that post selfies like almost every day? Even if they're real, like not distorted. Well, they're distorted, but they're not filtered, but they're distorted, from the odd angles or whatever, and try to put profound thoughts out there for the day.
Oh, yeah. I can't even think of
Reflecting
profound ones.
upon life.
Yeah,
like,
really? Are you reflecting?
Really? You're posting for everybody to say how awesome of a writer you are or how profound you are.
Oh, there was a funny one. Speaking of that pictures, there was a funny one on that link that I sent you, but there's this picture where you can kind of see like the back of one woman's head, and then you see the front of the other one, and the other one is like leaning forward, like she's intrigued by the other person. And so that's what they say. One of those things is where we make it look like we're just such a topic of interest for people.
Okay.
Like, which I've never done that, but I could see where that might be, like, oh, everybody wants to know what's going on with me, about how things are going, what I'm doing, and all these other things. I'm like, do people really? I mean, I know people do that.
Well, I think people. So that's another one. How about the people who post all their at the gym like pictures, like making a muscle?
Don't go to the gym all the time.
Or they do go to the gym and they're in decent shape, but they post like, oh, it's arm day and they're flexing their arms, or oh, it's leg day and it's a selfie in the mirror of their legs or whatever. So you might go to the gym all the time and whatever, and you're posting that. Good for you. Does that help motivate you to go to the gym? Because you're going anyway.
Well, that's
or do you
actually,
just want people to write on it that your butt looks good, or?
Yeah.
So it's all vanity. Everybody is vain as fuck, and they just want everybody to say, you're so beautiful. Oh, I wish I looked as good as you. Or, ooh, where'd you get those cute gym pants? Like, what do they want to know? What are you doing by posting that? Did you post it when you got fat as fuck? Like, this is me getting fatter and fatter every day.
Well, that's another post that I think would be funny to do.
It would gain 7 pounds this week. Here's a picture that my ass doesn't fit in my pants anymore. That's what we should post.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Well, here's this one. Here's the link that I sent you. This is from bestlifeonline.com, but it speaks to that one. And this one is 30 Lies Everyone Tells on Social Media. And this is by Sarah Crow. Wow, is she any relation to
Sheryl Crow?
Sheryl Crow? It just sounds alike, Okay, pretending you practically live at the gym. Unless your actual job requires you to spend the bulk of your day at the gym, odds are that you're not actually hitting it as hard as you lead people to believe. While you may go to the gym on a regular basis, a look behind the curtain reveals that many social media users make their workout habits seem a little more impressive to garner likes and shares. In fact, this level of deception might even have an effect on the poster. According to a study conducted at York University, many people overestimate how hard they're working out to begin with, which is pretty obvious when you see how hard people work out. For example, how much I work out is not a lot. I mean, I work out almost every day, but I don't consider it working out hard. But if you compared it to how hard people work out, I bet you I work out much harder than most people do. Right.
We get about 30 minutes a day, but it's fairly intense, I think. But some people spend 2 hours at the gym. What the hell do you do there for 2 hours?
They look at each other.
Yeah.
They do a rep, they break, they do a rep, they take a rest, and it's a
social thing, maybe?
Yeah. Well, that's like I was saying, is if you have to post that you're at the gym all the time, like, you're trying to impress who exactly?
I don't know. They just want validation for themselves that they look good, I guess, or that they're accountable for going to the gym.
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't for the fact that, I don't know, I would totally do this, okay? And maybe I will do it, but I don't want to insult people by them seeing me with my shirt off. But I would totally do a post of me, like, standing sideways and, like, pushing my gut out and stuff, and just to be like, yeah, I've been working out, or something like that, just to see what would happen.
With powdered donuts in your hand?
Yeah. Well, I don't want it to make it obvious that I'm just trying to bait people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I would totally do it, because here's what annoys me when I see people post stuff. Like, you'll see girls post stuff or whatever, and generally speaking, the ones that I've seen post stuff are in pretty decent shape, right?
Right.
Okay. But I've seen men post stuff, but they don't take a full body picture. Like, they'll take a picture, not from their nipples up, but from the top of their chest up.
Where they actually did chest or whatever. They have big arms and chest, and that's what they work.
Well, but if you can only see somebody from mid-chest up, most guys look pretty buff from there. But you do that with your shirt off. I'm like, what is the point of What is the point of that picture? Okay, everybody looks pretty decent from there on up. So if you really want everybody to see, how hard you're working out, go ahead and then post that picture of you with your shirt off.
Yeah, probably not going to happen because, they don't have good abs.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure the percentage of men that have good abs has probably got to be like less than 2% of the population of men in America.
Like all the time, just nonstop posts of food and working out posts.
Yeah.
Here's my arms. Like,
check me out. Watch me.
I don't know. I don't get it.
No, I don't get it either, but I applaud people, I guess, but do you really need that much validation?
Yeah.
For yourself? I can understand taking the pictures of yourself.
So you can look at them for yourself, yeah.
Right, I do that.
But you don't need to post them.
No, I would never post them. Yeah. I would only post them but see, when I say that we should do these things on Facebook, doesn't that make us trolls if we do it though?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I kind of, and as we all know, I'm not like a fan of trolls, but I think it would be kind of fun to do. And then we could later on say, hey, dumb fucks, we just baited you in with this. And that would probably piss off a lot of people. But then again, you're like, I don't really care if I piss off people. I don't know that I care.
Or start a rumor just to start one, just to see how far it goes and how quickly it goes.
Well, I mean, our president does that. I mean,
right. So what about people who post, you know them personally, and they're just kind of like a negative, shitty person? Not shitty per se, but just not nearly what they post. They're the opposite of what they post. But it's like, had a great morning, got up, motivated, go to the gym, live on, people, have a happy day. Like every day. And you see that shit and you're like, that is not how this person is at all.
Right.
And why do they post that stuff every day? Like, living your best life. Like, what? I don't understand that.
I don't know. I think that maybe they do that as their own affirmation for themselves. That's what I like to think. I like to think that they do it to motivate themselves, even if that's not really how I feel. Because if you can fake it till you make it, even to yourself, if you can convince yourself that you're something that you're not, or that you want to be something, I think that is powerful, that you can do that.
Well, I think so too. And then I guess if people comment on it back and it like, looking good, buddy, keep it up the great work, whatever. Again, back to validation. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants validation and a fan. Everybody wants a fan club. Everybody wants a trophy.
True. I mean, I want fans for Beaveman in the dock, but I'm not gonna be phony.
Maybe you should.
I mean, if I posted that stuff, I would throw up in my own mouth and I would be really upset with myself. And I don't have a problem with people being motivated and positive and things like that. I just feel like it's not me. And if I started doing that and people were commenting on it, not only would I feel like I was phony, but I would feel like they didn't know me at all.
Right.
And that they were fucking phony.
Because there are people who are genuinely like that. Like, who get up in the morning and they're like, how's it going? It's a great day. And those are people that you want to kick in the face because you're not like that. But those people are genuinely like that. I know some people who are genuinely like that. They're happy all the time. You could tell them their cat died and they found something great about it.
I don't know anybody like that.
I do.
I don't know anybody like that. I've encountered people like that, but I know they were fucking lying.
Well, this particular one that I'm thinking about, I've never seen them not like that. So they do a really good job of being super happy all the time.
Well, and hopefully they are.
Maybe they really are. But I just still deep down think it's fake.
Yeah, well, like I said, the ones that I've run across, I know they were full of shit. I know they were fucking liars.
Right.
That was so fucking obvious. And to those people, you just want to say, you know what? Go blow smoke up somebody else's ass. Because your life is not rainbows, lollipops, and all that other crap.
Yeah.
You just want your own fucking fan club, and you're just a piece of shit. You're a fat Garapito piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. I want a fan club.
With high blood sugar.
I want a fan club.
You want a fan club?
I do.
I want a fan club also. So to my listener out there, if you want to start a fan club, please do.
If we can get t-shirts. T-shirt. We can
get t-shirts. We will, and we'll even send you a t-shirt to our listener, and that'll be really good. Anything else that bothers you in the social media world?
That's about
I feel like we bitched
how about
about
food
it.
posts?
Yeah. In the thing
I mean,
about
I
food,
have posted some
I
food
have,
posts.
I have posted
but-
some food, just like some massive amounts of food that I've eaten.
Right.
Like when we were in Arizona in Flagstaff and we went to that diner and I took that picture and I was like, hey, this is for you, Ricky, my friend Ricky from high school. Because
Who
I thought
was
he
a
would appreciate
podcast
that.
guest,
He
by the
was
way.
He was a damn good one. And I gotta have him back. And I posted that one specifically for him. I was like, dude, look at the amount of fucking food that I just got. And that restaurant was fucking awesome. But I've done that before, but it's always been for me.
And
not
it's
for them.
not like
I'm like, look at this
I
fucking
cooked
thing I'm about
this.
to eat.
Yeah, it's not like I cooked this and good job, you're such a great cook post. Mine is the same thing. Like when we went to that one restaurant and it has the 4 dessert platter and I ate 90% of the 4 dessert platter that is a family style dessert that is like 4 freaking cakes and I ate 90% of it myself. That's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never posting it because I think it looked beautiful or something like that. When people post pictures of food because they think it looks pretty, I'm like, dude, it all looks like shit. Every picture you take, it
never looks like the picture on the box.
It doesn't look like what you think it looks like before you're about to eat it.
Right.
It's like beer goggles when you look at the food you're going to eat. But if you take a picture of it for people to see it and say, oh, how awesome does that look? It doesn't look like what you think it does when you're about to freaking chow down on it.
Correct. Yeah.
No, I'll post food, and I usually, if I post food, it's to tag somebody and say, dude, look what I fucking ate here. And I'm about
Go
to eat
here.
this whole
It's awesome.
Go
Yeah.
here. Try this. That's a fucking lot of food that I'm about to eat. Which I can't eat that much anymore, but it was impressive anyway. It was delicious. Man, it makes me want to go back to Flagstaff.
That was a good restaurant.
That was a good restaurant.
Accidentally found little mom and pop restaurant. It was good. Yep.
Yeah. What else you got on your notepad there?
That's all I got. What do you got?
That's what you got? That's all you got? Yeah. I think we pretty much... Yeah.
I think that's pretty...
Oh, no. We got to hit one
we
more.
got another
There's
one?
one more we got to hit before we move on. And I'm going to read again from this little online article. Pretending to be close to the recently deceased. Ugly a habit though it may be, there are far too many people out there who exaggerate their relationship with someone once they've died. So that guy who sat next to you in 9th grade chemistry, who you haven't spoken to in 15 years, is genuinely the person who understood you best in the world? Whatever you say.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying too. Like, you could say sorry for your loss or something like that, but yeah, if you haven't talked to him in 20 years and now you're like grieving, it's really not the same at all.
I remember that time.
You're
You gave me
taking
a piece of
away...
gum.
Yeah, you're taking away the grieving from the real friends and family of that person.
That is exactly what you're doing.
To make it about you again.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say I'm guilty of that because I've never done it. But I will say what happened was when my friend died, who was my friend in high school, I hadn't seen him for, I don't know, 20 some years. And we had kind of a falling out. But in my mind, it had only been a minute since we were friends. That's kind of how it was. And he passed away. Well, that was very shocking it was horrible for me, but it was more horrible for everybody who'd been with him the entire time.
Right.
I didn't try to take any of that away from them. I didn't try to make our relationship out to be something it wasn't. I was very honest with what our relationship was. It still affected me greatly that he passed, but I wouldn't want to take away from the people who'd been with him the whole time, which I wasn't.
Right.
But yeah, you see people do that all the time. They're like commenting on the death of a loved one or something like that. They're like, who the fuck is that person? I don't know who the fuck that is. People come out of the woodwork for that. People like death.
I don't know. And people just like to be the center of attention. I mean, like, come on, look at our wedding, for God's sakes. My aunt, who I don't freaking talk to, probably haven't, I mean, I know I haven't talked to her since we got married pretty much, but hadn't seen her for 10 years before that, tries to take over everything. Like, she invited herself to our freaking wedding.
Have you met Swan's aunt? She's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world.
Yeah, that's not even funny, but it's true. But yeah, she likes to be, she's self-important, and everything that she does is the way you should do it.
But we all are, and that's why when you read like the book about how to win friends and influence people, and that's what I tell the daughter. I'm like, if you really want to make friends, stop talking about yourself.
Listen.
Yes,
that's a big thing. Yeah.
You just ask people about their lives, because what is their most favorite subject? Themselves.
Right.
That's all they want to talk about. I usually try to defer. When people ask me questions about me, I usually try to ask them about themselves instead.
Yeah, but you're the opposite. You're uncomfortable by the fact that people want to get close to you.
Yes.
So you're the opposite. I feel like that's the opposite of most of what people want. So you're right.
I feel like when people ask me questions that they don't really want to know.
Yeah, like when you're going down the hallway and they're like, "How you doing today?" Fucking terrible. Like, do you really want to hear that?
Yeah.
No, they don't. They want you to say good and keep walking. Because
Right.
I always like to come up with, "Do you really want to know?" They don't even know what to say with that.
Yeah.
They just keep walking. Like, what did she just say? Like, did she say no? She didn't say good. Oh, whoops! I just keep walking so I don't have to engage in conversation because they really don't want to know.
Right.
So.
Well, I used to really when I was a trauma nurse, when I was an ER nurse, I was quite a bit, in my opinion, I was kind of a dick, because the Army had been my first career forever. But I used to say to people that were my friends, I was like, when we would come on a shift, I'd be like, "Hey, how you doing today?" I don't really want to know, but it's part of, it's considered polite.
Yeah.
That's what I used to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really want to know, but it's polite for me to ask.
Yep.
And so they would always say,
Same thing.
Funny.
But no, like, I'm serious.
No, I'm serious. With me though, it's different. If people ask me questions about me, I'll start to tell them stuff, but then I'm like, well, how much is? I don't want the conversation to roll on because I'm like, do they really want to know? And I think that people probably really do, are actually genuinely nice. The people that I interact with that ask me stuff, so I'm like, I do tell them stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but then I feel like I'm rambling on and on. So that's why I try to ask them, like, how much is too much? Let me ask them about what's going on with them.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I share too much. I don't know. Who knows? But people like to talk about themselves.
I guess it goes on what your relationship is with that person. Like if you're just work friends or work acquaintances or whatever, you don't have to share more than, how's it going? Good. Did you have a good weekend? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Got any big plans for the weekend? No. How about you? Conversation
I'll definitely
over.
fall into the trap if they ask me about my kids.
Right.
Like if they'll say, hey, what's the boy up to? Or what's the daughter up to? Because then I'm like, oh, I will talk about them.
Right.
But then I'm like, okay, I feel like I've been talking on and on about them for too long and I just need to stop my conversation and ask them about their kids. But I don't care.
Right.
But then again, I'm like, do I really want to hear about your kid? Probably not any more than you want to hear about mine, but you asked. So that's kind of the down thing. If you're going to lay that trap, you got to be prepared to listen a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Well, I think I've hit a bunch of the annoying ones.
Yeah.
What do you think, Paper Doc? You really didn't comment too much today as the subject matter expert. Well, I've been pretty busy
Studying.
It's not easy being Paper Doc. Sometimes you worry about things like fire, excessive humidity. You spend a lot of time in a cupboard, and you have some time thinking to yourself. So you get kind of philosophical. And when I get a chance to come out, basically what I like to do is scope it out. I like to scope it out.
Okay. Yep.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Get the
Creepy.
angle right.
Creepy.
If I can get the angle right.
He's
You know what
trying
I'm
to
saying?
take a selfie.
I'm not trying to take a selfie.
I know what
I'm
you're
trying to take a booby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we've hit every topic we were planning on hitting today. Now that we're at the end, I do want to do kind of a little advertisement, as it were. As all of you listeners know who are repeat listeners, if you're new listeners, let me just tell you that the intro track to Beaveman in the Dock and the outro track also are written by my son, Skylar Beavers, who used to be a producer of the show. Obviously, I do everything now. But he's got music that is available on Apple iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, or pretty much anywhere you get your music. You just have to search Skylar Beavers, that's with an A. So Skylar, Beavers, just like it sounds. And he just released his recent track, and that is called Level Up. So what we're going to do is I will play part of that for the outro track today. And you're not getting the whole fucking thing because then you'd be getting it for free. So I'll give you like 30, 45 seconds. But you can go ahead and listen to it. And if you like it, go ahead and purchase it on any of those available music apps. Okay? And that's it for the Beaveman on this episode of Beaveman in the Dock, brought to you by the fine people, which is me, from Renegade Beaver Studios. And with me today, the beautiful Swan.
Buy one listener.
Yes, by one listener. And
Top fan status.
True. Enjoy this excerpt of Level Up by Skylar Beavers. Adios, mooch fuckos.
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring.
Skylar Films thing, what's up, man?
Stepping out the house, man, that shit's a rare occurrence. I ain't fucking with the wave, I ain't trying to make it current. I'm just trying to chase my dreams, I just wanna make it perfect. Been a while since I dropped it, I ain't do that shit on purpose. Okay, but I do this shit for myself. Okay, yeah, and I do this shit for my health. Oh hey, you just wanna see me gone, well, that's fine, we don't really get along well. I just party in my house, skipping all the functions, playing on my Switch, Pikachu chasing hunches, hitting like the hunchback, spitting Notre Dame. I've been counting all my racks, both I'm on the video games. Leveling up, bitch, that shit ain't nothing. You ran to a label like they'll do something. You ain't making heat even if you were an oven. I be underground, yet I still hear 'em buzzing.
Credit score 716, going 80 on the dash. Pedal to the floor, I don't ever stop for gas. I got spending money, but bitch, don't ever ask. And I got the whack flows, but I think that they will pass.